We've crossed the street and we've come over to the Occupy Charlotte location encampment, which is over here by the old City Hall, the old City of Charlotte building. Leah and I are here, and we have met some really nice people. They've been very great at helping us find the right person to talk to. Our communication and media director on board, his name is James Lee Walker II. And I want to say your business card says you're a production manager. It looks like you do films. You're an actor. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Actor, singer, improviser.
Yeah, that's the stuff I put on the card at the time when I made that one. Yes.
Don't you love media where you can just like reinvent yourself constantly?
Definitely.
Well, so now you are the point person for all of Occupy Charlotte, is that right?
Well, no. I'm just a guy like that's when I'm standing around, people know they can point me out and go talk to James because I've been jumping in front of cameras as quickly and as often as I can.
How long have you? Yeah, well, I got you, James. I understand that one. Yeah. Anytime there's an open microphone, I'm there. I'm
Definitely.
for sure. Now, how long have you personally been out here?
I think I'm still with no clocks and we have calendars now, but there are watches, but it's kind of you're kind of getting well. And we were supposed to build a sundial. That never happened because Eli says he knows and he's usually right. So I just ask him. He uses the sun. He's not, and it's not just because he's Native American. It's easy; anyone can do it. But he's proficient at it. But like I think 3 weeks. I've been out here as long as we've been out here, minus maybe 2 days. It took me that long to get down here, but I was helping move my parents to Rock Hill and getting clothes together and getting my tent, and I was here. I was one of the original 6 tents. I know that.
You were one of the original 6 tents. How many tents do you think you have here now?
The last count was 39. I assume now it's like 40, 42.
How many people would you say are getting housed in these tents?
I assume about that, but we have people who leave their tents and go see their spouses and go to work and
so
stuff.
So the people here, some of them are employed right now.
Oh yes, and it's hilarious when someone drives by, honks, and says get a job while someone shaves and dresses and exits their tent to go to their job. Like it was frustrating. Now it's very funny, and we don't really know what to. We were protesting a little while ago up in front of BOA, and we got the get a job and yell, and Vic said, "This is my job." And I think we're all going to chant that in unison from now on. I like that.
Well, James, tell me, what inspired you to get involved in this way?
Well, it's there is a huge wealth disparity, and there's every decision made by the government can be completely overturned by money, no matter what. I mean, and I think that's wrong. And if there's any way to change that at all, it would take a protest, of some kind or something, because that's just the way things work. And the only way to change the way things work, is legislation, and if there's enough money, that's not going to work, or to protest. And occupying is, this is if we stay until and we're allowed to stay and we follow the law. That is, that's like an itch. They have to scratch at some point. They have to do something. They have to make a move, or they have to start a discussion about what they can do about it. One of the two. And I think that's the best tactic to use to protest. To say something, to assemble as a mass and make it known that it's a really, really important thing. What we're talking about, and there's a lot of questions about what we're talking about and all that.
Sure. It seems now. I'm certainly sympathetic to what you're saying, and Leah and I were just talking just prior to me coming over and talking to you about how there are reports that come out and studies that come out every day that talk about the great disparity between the upper 1% of the earners in America and then the rest of us. And it's very frustrating. And as a sort of middle class person, it does feel like you're just treading in quicksand at all times, and you're just trying to keep your head above water. Yeah. And we look forward to hopefully a better place for our kids, but it seems like we're going backwards in time for many, many, many of us. And it's very frustrating. Now, traditionally, one of the ways that we, as a people in America, have worked with change is to elect different people. You know, is to kick out the old people, the old guys, and get some new gals and guys in there.
Yeah.
Do you think that's an option here?
Well,
or
yeah.
what's
I mean,
your feeling about that?
well, that's what we're going to do. And then whether they're Republican or Democrat, they're going to fight for 4 years with the other one instead of trying to change anything. And that's a great game show. But
so you're saying that once they get elected, then all they want to do is stay. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. I mean, that's the job. That's your job for 4 years is to please your party and get elected again.
So how do we get people who aren't like that?
Well, we have to change the way the whole thing works. And that's insane.
So, I mean, so how do you do that? I mean, how do you do that with laws and everything? I mean, what do you think? I mean, have you guys talked about that?
What a lot of groups are doing are trying to talk about individual things they can do, like educating. Like if people don't know what certain numbers mean, people are trying to convince other people like how much a corporation made and why that's wrong, and they look at them with blank stares. They're like, well, let me get a college professor out here who believes this to talk to you, and we're going to schedule a class at this time, and for education. Or, you know, well, I know we haven't talked at all about any sort of green initiatives. Can we talk about that? Why don't you organize a green initiative talk group and and people work out these problems and work on that, not during our General Assembly meeting. Why don't you go off to the side and schedule time and tell people when they're going to be there? Because in the meantime, while we're occupying, we all could be educating ourselves. We all could be trying to fix these problems. We all could be coming up with suggestions to send to these public officials and ask them, hey, what do you think of this? Do you like this? I'm not saying because there are a lot of people trying to co-opt all the movements around the world as far as like Ron Paul people or the Democrats or the Republicans or the Independents, or this is we like on the Occupy Charlotte lawn, we need way more Tea Party members here. I find it very odd there are no Tea Party members here.
Well, yeah, so tell us who, I mean, in the big spectrum of the about 39, 40 people that you have out here, where are you politically?
Oh, well,
unaffiliated?
Oh, the group has no political affiliation. I mean, I think there is a pretty good variety of leanings, but there's no political affiliation, I believe, in any of the Occupy movements. I'm pretty sure.
And in yours, you're not seeing any common threats?
Oh no, I mean
other than being irritated with Bank of America.
Well, and that's not even because a lot of people think there's a lot of different roots of problems, but we all recognize that there is a problem. I mean, that is a very
so you say
okay.
Thread. So you're together because you have a dissatisfaction.
Yes. And
the dissatisfaction is because
we're governed by money.
You feel like we're governed by money.
That's my personal.
That's your personal
take on. I mean, and there's a bunch of different definitions of that, but we all have this. There's a bunch of different variations of phrasings like that, but we're all in solidarity with something along those lines, and defining that message. That's why it's so complicated, and that's why it sounds like we don't know what we're talking about sometimes, but we do. We all do.
That kind of brings me to